Awesome. Hi everyone, this is America Goes Orthodox. Today we are here with Andy. Andy, how are you doing, brother?
Good, how are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks God. And tell us a little bit, how was your life before God? How was living? What you was believing?
Life before God. I lived a happy life. I didn't really experience any major trauma, but when I turned 26, there was a real spiritual gap in my soul that I could tell was not being fulfilled. I just wasn't happy in life. Yeah.
So you was living without count the God. You was said there is no God, or something made you to say I don't want you God in my life. Do you
I
remember?
don't know, I just felt the calling, you know. The wonders of the world and all of the real evils that I think that we're living through in our modern times, it more or less made me realize that God is absolutely real. And it seems like that we're living through one of the greatest spiritual wars maybe in modern human history right now. And I felt this overwhelming sense of calling to try to return to normalcy, if you will. That's what made me want to come to the Orthodox Church.
Andy, do you remember the turning point when you God saw you himself and you start to figure out there is a God?
Yeah, I've read, I don't remember how I found it, but I stumbled upon this book called Imagine Heaven. It's this author, he wrote a series of books. He started out the same way that I was, just an atheist, trying to discover if God was real or not and, learn the evidence and the arguments behind it. And he goes around and interviews all of these really miraculous people that have these crazy stories about near-death experiences where a lot of them, they die and then they claim that they meet Jesus and they have these life-altering experiences and are sent back to earth. And there's hundreds of stories of people that are like this. So for me, when I read that book, I realized this is absolutely real. These people are trying to really get the real message out there. I was inspired by the way that it changed their lives. I found the Orthodox Church because I read this book and having no understanding of Christianity at all, I set out to try to understand, where's the truth with all these denominations? Because it's so fractured and it seems so hard to understand. The Orthodox Church was the obvious choice from what I saw.
Awesome. After this book, when you're reading, how your life changed? How you found? You said I need to go in the church and to belong somewhere. How God showed you the Orthodoxy?
What was the question?
After the first time you reading the book, you say, right, and you realize there is a God.
Yeah.
The book Imagine Heaven.
Yeah.
What did you say in yourself? You say I need to found a church. I need to belong somewhere. How you found the Orthodoxy? Why you choose the Orthodoxy?
Well, Orthodoxy, I mean, certainly not free of modern troubles entirely, but it being the original source of Christianity, I wanted to come home to the church that Christ left us. I mean, I'm not an expert on the different denominations by any means, but there's seems to be so many theological flaws with what the Protestants think, and there's no common ground between any of them. Orthodoxy is free of that, and I think the emphasis on Orthodoxy being primarily on our attempt to heal ourselves from our sick human nature, that's what I needed in my life, and that's just what makes the most sense to me. I think that if that's what God wants us to be, that's how God wants us to behave. That's what drew me to Orthodoxy.
That's right. Adi, why do you believe the Orthodox is the original church?
Well, it's the church that Christ started. You know what I mean? His apostles started it. It was pre-schism. Yeah.
So the history this makes sense,
Yeah.
and the apostle, that's
Yeah.
very beautiful. How your family see the change on you? They were Catholic, you said?
Well, I had some parents that were Catholic, my grandparents were Catholic. On my stepdad's side of the family, very Mormon. They haven't, had anything negative necessarily to say about it. I'm sure that my Mormon side of my family has their own opinions, but they haven't expressed any negative intents towards me about it at all. For the most part, though, my family's been very supportive. As a matter of fact, I've since converted my mom and my little brother. We're all catechumens at the same church. My wife as well. We're the four of us. We're all trying to join the church at the same time. So my family experience generally has actually been very supportive.
That's very beautiful.
Yeah.
How you are saying now catechumen the last 1 year your life?
Several months now, probably 5 months.
5 months.
Yeah.
And how this help you in your life? How you see the things in your family, your business, in your relationships? How the Orthodoxy side help you in your daily life?
How about daily life? It's hard to say. I feel like I'm still so young in my spiritual journey. My life has gotten a lot more turbulent, really, since I've become a catechumen. I heard a lot of the church fathers today that are on the internet that put out a lot of content, and also I've heard earlier church fathers talk about it, how when you really try to embrace your relationship with God, things get tougher. The spiritual war will get a lot more intense, and I've certainly seen that firsthand. I underestimated it severely. So honestly, since I've converted, I mean, not to say that I regret it in any way, but it's been very challenging. It's been very difficult, but I embrace the challenges wholeheartedly. I think God puts everything in front of me for a reason. I love everything about my life, though. I feel a sense of completeness and love in my life that I haven't felt ever.
Adi, what was the most difficult part on this journey and how you passed this through?
The most difficult part of the journey is trying to give up your time every day to fast, to be repentant, to pray, to read the scriptures. It's a challenge every single day, giving up part of yourself. But that's something that I really appreciate about the Orthodox faith, and something that I try to take with open arms. I really like that in our church we put a lot of emphasis on making those sacrifices every day.
I see. That's very beautiful. One last question for you. Right now, many young people are looking for truth, and they're seeking God because they need God in their life. What do you have to say to them?
It's simple. God left us a church. There's only one church. You should just come and experience it. I think that as soon as you go you witness your first liturgy, and you start really reading the things that the early church fathers, the people that knew the apostles and that knew Christ himself, it's all out there. You just have to go and experience it. Let the Holy Spirit work inside of you when you make that journey. But anybody who's inquiring, I strongly encourage you, go and experience the Orthodox Church. It'll change your life for the better.
That's very beautiful. Andy, if the Jesus Christ was here in front of you right now, what do you want to say to him?
I don't even know. I'd probably just start crying. I don't even know what I would do. I don't know if there's anything that I can say that's really worthy of him hearing, to be honest.
That's very beautiful. Thank you to share us with us this, and we wish all the best, brother. Keep going. This is America Goes Orthodox, Los Monastery.